Hey guys, hope things are going well. This is part 2 to my Quant View review of the new indicator system, which is really shown up on Facebook ads quite a bit, saying, hey, we're a prop focused indicator system, will help you pass your funded accounts. So of course that caught my attention because they're becoming so popular. Did a quick video on it. I kind of messed up that last video. If you couldn't hear the guy talking on it, just go to the link in the description below to get the free trial for QuantVue, and you'll see the video that was missing the audio in part 1 there as well. So yeah, I messed that up a little bit, but oh well. So yeah, so I was basically looking at the first. There's really two things that they tout as being their main like things that set them apart. The first one was the Q line. So if you go to the review that I'm starting here, the link will be in the description. The Q line is the first thing that I started to review earlier, which is down here somewhere, because they call it the prop challenge indicator. So basically what I found curious about it is that it works on the 1 second time frame. So I thought that was interesting. And it's run by, the training's run by a guy called Christopher, who claims to be an institutional trader with 20 years experience. At least one of them has 20 years experience. And there's an hour-long course which I did on the Q-line indicator, and I was a little bit underwhelmed by it. So if you watched my previous video, you'll have known that it was kind of a bit of a letdown. This was the crude oil futures. This is a sort of a snapshot of it actually working. So there's a bear signal, and then we go down and get a signal here. So you take the profit from here, go up, and take the profit from here, go down. So this is like a snapshot of it working, but I was pretty underwhelmed with it in general on the 1 second time frame, at least on the different futures, different futures ones. So I tried ES, MES, I tried gold, I tried crude oil. So overall, I'd say that this Q line, which is basically these indicators following this this blue line, and really didn't give much more of an edge than, or really maybe even worse in some ways, than the Algo Pro, for example, which is my favorite one at the moment. I'll leave a link in the description to go and check out the review on that one. That one works really well in futures as well. So I would say this one so far, this new one, Quant View, isn't really worth buying for me. So luckily there's a free trial, so make sure you check it out for that, because sometimes one thing will work really well for one person and somebody else will figure out a different way of doing it, and the two people can have quite different opinions, opinions of the program, the alert service, or the indicator system in this case. So the Q line is one of the two main things that they really tout as being what they are, basically their competitive edge in this market, which is very saturated, as I'm finding. Is there's lots and lots of these indicator companies, and this one, so this was this first video, part 1, covering the Q line, and this video I wanted to briefly mention the Q line again. I actually did do this. So what I did is, this is the 1 second time frame, and I'm actually trading FedEx with a different alert service this week, so it was kind of on my radar. And you can see actually on the 1 second, FedEx matches pretty well with the buys and sells, far better than the futures. So it's kind of ironic that the prop firm funded futures traded indicator, which is what we're looking at here, the Q line, is actually performs better on the first stock that I use rather than the first future. So it looks like it's pretty consistently awesome as well. I mean, look at this. This goes bear right up here. Yep. So it's it's really good. So overall, it's just kind of weird that the one that they tout as being for the funded future stuff seems to work better on the very first stock that I look at, still on the 1 second time frame as well. And that's something you can mess with, is the different time frames to see. And they encourage it, and it's something I do like about them. I like how they give a free trial, and they also encourage you to mess with the settings and try and refine it for that a particular chart and time frame that you're using. But they do encourage, for the funded future stuff, 1 second data, which is quite interesting. It's a little bit of a twist. Alright, so that leaves us with the second thing that they love to talk about, which is the money cue ball. think it's called. It's this thing right here. Let's load it up. The MoneyBall queue. So if I go to their Discord right here, I spoke to this guy, by the way. He's the founder. He's really helpful. So if you have questions, he's really good. And if we look through their system here, they have the different, for the pro members areas, they have the lounge, the futures chat, the crypto chat, the pro chart layout. So they actually give you charts, which is quite interesting, templates. Instead of having to mess with them forever by yourself, then they actually give you some that they found to work really well, which is really cool. The pro training, I just did this one. So this is the QuantVue MoneyBall training. It's another hour-long series of videos broken up into 4. I didn't find it very good at all, which I'm disappointed. I hate when I find things bad. I like finding good things to be able to talk about and show people. Now this one, it was hard to watch. I had to put it on 2x speed just to get through each video. And I haven't written it up into my full review yet, but if you keep checking this review, it'll get longer and longer. After each published video, I'll put in sections to do with the video stuff that I found that day or whatever. The training was basically saying that the cue ball, it was called the money ball, so we call it the money ball. The money ball indicator is this thing down the bottom here. So obviously we have the chart on the top, and the bottom here we have the money ball, and really they're diamonds, so they're money ball diamonds. So the problem I have is they look terrible. I can't find really. I mean, there's like the odd case where it's like, okay, that was good, but it's almost like they're just random, if that makes sense. So the idea is that when it's green like this, that indicates bullish price action, and they won't say exactly what it is, but it's not conventional. They just keep saying it's not the conventional way of calculating when the price is going to go up. It's not like RSI or anything like that. It's not conventional. That it's some sort of something to do with seismic activity mathematics. I don't know. It's really weird. So anyway, it doesn't work in my opinion. It does work, but it's not useful. So green here started to go up. Sure, we got a nice trend up and everything. But we also got a bull signal from the Q line here, so it's like, well, I would have followed that anyway. Do I follow that and then do I take profits when it says bear? It's like, it's all just very vague. Then you look over here, you'll have like a red one, which means bearish, and then a green, bearish, green, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish. And this one up on the Q line will just say it's bullish, which it was. But in between you have all these conflicting things. This is on FedEx. Let's actually go to the futures that they use it on. So it gets worse, trust me. Crude oil, let's see. Crude oil futures, do CL. So, I mean, it's always hard to really show this properly, but you see what I mean? This is working a little bit better on crude oil. The indicators on the Q line are doing a little bit better, and certainly, so that's what I'm saying. You got to be a bit careful. I don't want to mislead you guys into thinking this thing is terrible. It had some nice runs on crude oil recently on the 1 second chart. A lot of messy chop here as well. Anyway, the Moneyball thing just seems so random. Like, it hits a bearish here, but the Q line is saying it's bearish up here. So you get a bearish here, and then it flips to, I don't know. It just doesn't. Maybe it's the visual thing for me. It just doesn't sit well. It looks a lot of the time just like random dots. Just put. But I may well be wrong. So let's look at another one really quick, because I really want to make sure that you guys, if this is a good system, and I've been assured that it is, let's go for just the NQ right here. So zoom in a little bit. Okay, so let's see, what can we make of this? We have a bearish signal. That's fantastic. Worked really well. It's still in progress. You can see candles are still printing because the futures are still open. There's enough liquidity that this is working quite well. So it's great. The Q line bear signal worked well. It looked like the bull one worked. The previous bear one didn't. The bull one sort of didn't. And I guess there's corresponding. I mean, here, this is what's weird. There's a bullish and a bearish money ball, right? So there's a green bull money ball, but we're in a downtrend. And there's a red money ball, and we're in a downtrend. So which one is it? Like, was that marking this little move? I mean, these are 1 second candles, so kind of difficult to say. I think that's a little hard to understand. This one, the bear signal on it happens here, but we've already, I don't know. I mean, maybe if you align these two, look at this one, bearish appears right at the bottom of the bear trend, that the Q line actually got right. So it just becomes more and more confusing. Rather than confluence or being helpful, it's becoming more and more confusing. So I don't know what to make of that, really. Overall, my impression of it is it's not really any better. I keep coming back to this, and I hate to say it because it just seems like I'm repeating myself, but I'll leave this link as well. But if you go to my previous review, which was Algo Pro, this one, I'll leave a link for this. You go here and you can go through all these videos. This is a better system, and it's a lot cheaper. And the weirdest thing is that it works really well in futures, even though they don't really talk about the futures as being part of it as much. So I just know that a lot of people are having success with this. Like, I did a poll on my Facebook group just recently. When I first started talking about all this stuff, I wanted to know, if the people that were buying this, did they find it helpful? Did they find it like it was useful? And so I did this poll right here. And so I said, if you bought Algo Pro, so not the QuantVue MoneyBall that we're talking about, but if you bought Algo Pro, and if you use it, do you like it? Is it helpful? And 100% of people said yes. There's only 15 people, but that's in this industry, that's quite a recommendation to have 15 random people say yes and nobody say no, it's not useful. That's actually pretty much unheard of. There's nearly always going to be somebody who's like, oh, this sucks. You've heard me, like, I've already said, like, this doesn't work. But if I change to different charts, suddenly it looks like it works really well. And so the person that started out on the chart for FedEx, like I showed you earlier, will love it. Or even NQ here for the Q line will love it. Or maybe like it at least a lot. But if you start out and you just try and use these Moneyball things, you'd be like, oh, this is terrible. So it's definitely a steeper learning curve to this Quant View than there is to something like Algo Pro. Anyway, hopefully it doesn't put you off too much. I want you guys to try the free trial. There'll be a link in the description below, because you never know. You might resonate with one of the other things I'm going to show you coming up. So there are lots of other features to this. There's in the indicator system here, there are lots of different strategies. There's Q bands and Q clouds, Q waves, the smart money concepts. So there's still a lot to talk about with this, even though my initial impression of the professional package is not that great. I'm probably wrong. So go and check out the free trial. Links in the description below. And I will talk to you guys soon.